sunshiny smile, heard the roar of a plane as it sailed through the sky. To a playmate she cried with a bright twinkling eye, my daddy rides that ship in the sky. Oh, my daddy rides that ship in the sky. My daddy rides that ship in the sky. Mama's not afraid and neither am I, 'cause my daddy rides that ship in the sky. Then a pug-nosed kid, as he kicked up his heel, says, my daddy works in the iron and the steel. Yes, my daddy makes planes so they fly through the sky, and that's what keeps your daddy up there so high. Oh, that's what keeps your daddy up there so high.
I want you to imagine if you went back maybe 200 years ago, and instead of living in the kind of house you live in now, you lived in a log cabin back in the woods. You got those logs from the trees growing around you, and you and your neighbors, you cut those logs down and you put them together into a house. You didn't go to Walmart for your food. You grew your food out in your yard, grew some corn, you got your eggs from your own chickens. And when you wanted some meat, you might slaughter a hog or pig, or more often, you might go out hunting and hunt some animals that you could eat. I'm going to show you a little dog that you might want me to make for you out of this balloon, okay? I'm going to make a little snout, okay? Put some ears on him. Let's give him a neck. And a couple of legs. 1, 2. Give him a little body. And the dog and his name was Blue. And the dog and his name was Blue. And the dog and his name was Blue. Extra $5, he's a good dog too. Here's your call. Here, Blue, you good dog, you. Can you sing that with me? Here, Blue, you good dog, you. Well, I shouldered my gun and I tooted my horn. Gonna catch a possum in the new round corn. Old Blue barked and went to see. He'd cornered a possum in a cinnamon tree. Here, Blue, you good dog, you. Here, Blue, you good dog, you. You know, old Daniel Boone had a dog and his name was Blue. He was a really, really good hunting dog. And one day Daniel was out hunting. They were running across a field. Out of the distance flew an arrow. It came so fast that when it hit old Blue, it split it right in two. The front half split away from the back half, just like that. Well, Daniel was always prepared. He had some super glue in his pocket. He grabbed that super glue, he slapped a little bit on the front end, he slapped a little bit on the back hand, and he held them together. Count to 5 with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue was all back together again. He blinked his eyes. He licked Daniel's cheek. He was all back together and barely lost a heartbeat. Now the only problem was Daniel was in such a hurry that when he put them back together, he put the back end on upside down with his legs facing up and down. And you know, super glue, once it's stuck, you can't do anything about it. So that's the way Blue was for the rest of his days. And you might think that would be a problem, but it wasn't, because, see, Blue would run for a while on his front legs, and when he'd get winded, why, just flip right over on his back legs and run some more. So it didn't turn out so bad after all. Oh, yeah, we were bound for the mountain, bound for the mountain, bound for the mountain. Over the mountains, the hills, and the valleys, away with chase and game. Rover, rover, see and rover, rover. Got it? Well, one time there was a little boy who was fond of always go out hunting. Little boy would have hear those hounds baying all night long, and he'd want to go too. young. Your legs are too short and you get left behind. We'd have to come back and get you. You better wait till you're a little older. But that little boy begged sleeping. They went across the creek, got the bridge into the holler, and that little boy, he was keeping up with them for a while. But those dogs, they started to go faster and faster. The little boy was going slower and slower and slower and slower, and finally got into some brush, and finally he tripped over a log. He got himself up, and he couldn't hear those dogs anymore. They were too far ahead of him. Took out his horn and he blew for blue. Oh, where are you? Oh, where are you? All he could hear was that old owl. Those old mosquitoes. And that old bullfrog. Took out his horn again and he blew it. Oh, where are you? Oh, where are you? Well, off in the distance, he thought he heard a little something. He said, I think that's them. I hear them come around the mountain now. Here they come. Here they come. They're coming to get me right now. He said, well, well, bound for the mountain, bound for the mountain, bound for the mountain, over the mountains, the hills, and the fountains, away with the chase away. Rover, over, see 'em, rover, over, catch 'em, over the mountains, the hills, and the fountains, away with the chase away. Listen to the hound dogs, they sounding right over the way. All night long till the break of dawn, merrily the chase goes on. It's over the mountains, the hills, and the fountains, away with the chase away. What's that? Monkey, yeah. Now our cousin there looks like he could tell you a story, couldn't he? What about those guys? I don't know what story they would tell. Well, I've got a story about a monkey. It's been around a long time in a picture book version by Paul Galdone, and we've got it up here. You can check it out afterwards. So there was this monkey. He was a really curious monkey, kind of like Curious George. And he was out there one day, out on his tree, swinging around, eating a banana. And up the river came a crocodile. So he said to that monkey, he said, well, how's that banana taste? Oh, the monkey said, it's good. Crocodile said, I bet you it's not as good as a mango. The mango said, monkey, what's a mango? He said, a mango is the most delicious fruit in the entire world. He said, you haven't lived until you have tasted a mango. Well, he said, where can I get one of those? He said, well, just so happens there's an island up here a little ways, and there's a mango tree on that island. I'll take you over there. Well, you think that's a good idea? No. Probably not. Crocodile might eat a monkey. He said, you're not going to eat me, are you? He said, oh, no. He said, trust me. He said, I'm a vegetarian. No. It seemed pretty good for a while he was just riding along on that crocodile. I'll paint him up in just a minute. But they were riding along, going through the water. They went through the shallow part, and that was okay. He said, Mr. Crocodile, this is a pretty nice ride. Thank you for taking me along. But then they got to the deep part of the water, and when they got to that deep part, suddenly the crocodile dove down, swam along at the bottom of the stream, and that old monkey, he couldn't breathe. Finally, the crocodile came up to him. Oh, he said, Mr. Crocodile, what'd you do that for? He said, you nearly drowned me. Well, said the crocodile, first I'm going to drown you, then I'm going to eat you. Eat me, he said. You told me you were a vegetarian. He said, I lied. He thought, and he said, Mr. Crocodile, he said, I wish I'd known that you wanted to eat me, because if I did, I would have brought my heart along with me. You what? Said the crocodile. He said, I left my heart back there in the tree. I would have brought it if I knew you were going to eat me. Well, let's go get it, said the crocodile. Oh, said the monkey, you sure you don't want to take me to that mango tree first? He said, no, let's go get your heart. Back they went, back to that island. Monkey got off, climbed up that tree. You reckon he went back to where that crocodile was? No, sirree, Bob. He said, bye-bye, Mr. Crocodile. I fooled you. I had my heart right here all the time. And that was the last time that monkey went for a ride on a crocodile. The end. Yes, sir. Let me put a little face on here for him. Give him a couple of eyes, a couple of eyebrows. Give him a little mouth, kind of a big mouth to tell you the truth. Give him a little red tongue and he'll be ready to go. There he is, a ridged monkey. You've probably heard about fables, which teach a lesson. There's another kind of story that's sort of like that. We call it a wisdom tale. It's maybe not, doesn't say what the lesson is usually, but you can see what the lesson is. And I want to tell you a wisdom tale that comes from China. In this book, it's called The Empty Pot. And it's about a man who was the emperor. China used to be ruled by emperors. And this emperor was getting very old. He was going to die, and he didn't have any children, didn't have a son or a daughter to pass on being an emperor to. So he thought, well, how am I going to pick somebody who will be the next emperor? Who would be a good emperor? He thought, I don't know. And then he was sitting out in his garden one day, and he loved plants so much, he said to himself, he said, I know, I'll let the plants decide. He put out word that he wanted all the boys and girls in China who would like to be the next emperor to come to his palace and see him. And when he got there, he said to him, I'm looking for the next emperor, and here's how I'm going to decide. I'm going to give each of you a flower seed. And you take that flower seed home and do the best you can to grow a flower with that seed. Now, he said, you've got to use that flower seed so it'll be fair. There was one boy there whose name was Pin, and he just loved the garden. He was the best gardener. He put in that seed in some rich soil, and then he watered it, and he weeded it, and he came out every morning to see if he could see his plant peeking up out of the ground. So every morning he came, and every morning he saw the same thing. There was nothing growing. He changed the dirt out. He thought, maybe I don't have good enough dirt. And he got a bigger pot, but he got the same results. Nothing would grow. Well, the little boy was feeling really discouraged. I mean, he really felt like he wanted to be emperor, and he knew that he was a good gardener, so he couldn't understand why it wasn't growing. He thought to himself, maybe I should get another seed. Well, what do you think? Should he get another seed? The emperor said to use that one. You think it'd be okay to kind of switch the seeds? No, he didn't think so either. He thought, well, he said to use that seed, and I've done my best, he said. I'll just have to take him this. Well, in about 3 months' time, it was time to go back to the emperor and show him what they had. When he got to the emperor's palace, all these boys and girls were arriving, and they had the most beautiful plants. There were flowers with red and yellow and orange and pink and magenta and purple flowers, beautiful flowers. And what that little boy had was an empty pot. An empty pot. He felt ashamed. He felt embarrassed. He saw all those boys and girls with beautiful flowers, but he went and he just stood there, and in a little while the emperor came out to the courtyard where all the boys and girls and their parents were gathered. And you know, he looked out at all those beautiful flowers, and you'd think he would have been smiling, wouldn't you, to see such beautiful flowers? But he wasn't. He was frowning. Just like that.
until he saw that little boy with that empty pot. When he saw the little boy, he smiled. He went over to him. He said, "What happened? Why don't you have a flower in that pot?" The little boy explained. He said, I put in the seed, I put in good soil, I watered it, I weeded it, I did everything he could. He said, I tried my best, but nothing would grow. The emperor nodded his head. He put his arm around that little boy, and the two of them turned around and they faced everybody, and he said, "This will be the next emperor of China." You know what had happened? Anybody know why he did that? He said, "I don't know where the rest of you got your seeds." He said, "The seeds I gave you were boiled. None of them would grow," he said. "You must have all the rest of you gone and gotten another seed like I told you not to do." This is the only boy who followed instructions, who was honest and hardworking, and I'm sure he's going to make a fine emperor. And that little boy grew up to be a kind and just and very wise emperor. And that is the story of the empty pot. Now let me ask you a question. That's what's called a wisdom tale. What's the wisdom in that? What do you suppose that tale is trying to tell us? To be truthful. Yep. And sing, inch by inch and row by row. Okay, here's the sign for grow. A seed under the ground, here's your hand, hits the surface, comes up. Gonna make this garden grow, turns into a flower, okay? Inch by inch and row by row. Gonna make this garden grow. Get yourself a hoe in your hand. All I need is a rake and hoe, some more sign language, and a patch of fertile ground. What is that? Dirt. Next part starts the same. Inch by inch and row by row. Get a big sack of seeds. Hold it up with this hand. Reach in with your other hand. Get a handful and scatter it out. Please bless these seeds I sow. Please warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Okay? Now let's see if you can do your part with me playing the guitar. You ready? Inch by inch and row by row, flower grow. Gonna make this garden go, rake and hoe. All I need is a rake and hoe and a patch of fertile ground. Inch by inch and row by row, sowing seeds. Please bless these seeds I sow. Please warm them from me till the rain comes tumbling down. Well, down for the mountain, down for the mountain, down for the mountain. Over the mountains, the hills, and the fountains, away with the chase away. Rover, rover, see 'em, rover, rover, catch 'em, over the mountains, the hills, and the fountains, away with the chase away. Listen to the hound dogs, heavy bass, sounding right over the way. All night long till the break of dawn, merrily the chase goes on. It's